I'm muted. Okay, hi everybody. Good evening. Um, I just wait at least a minute more to see if more people will join. And yeah, the purpose of this session this evening is basically to answer your questions because I can see so many people have a lot of questions, and attending to each of them one after the other could be really, stressful. And also, I just decided to have this session to, address your questions and also show you what you're supposed to do in regards to your project, right? Okay. And however, since this is a recorded call, right, I could just speak about your project. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to walk you through what you're supposed to do. And I believe the um, the link is also available on the link to access this document I'm about to share with us is also within the Google Classroom. If you check in the announcement section, right, I actually added that there. All right. So if you can hear me, you can please leave a comment. Right, please leave a comment so that I know that you can hear me. And with that being said, I'll just go ahead and share my screen and where is it? Okay, so this is the project brief for your projects, right? This is it, and we'll basically be designing an e-commerce app, like I said earlier. And something you should also have in mind is for this project, you are going to be divided into groups, right? And I'll be using the lists, the names available on the Google Classroom. I know, I believe those there actually, participating and active on this program. So that's what I'm going to be using to, group you guys for this project. Each group will have between 10 to 12 group members, right, to actually work on this project. So it's an e-commerce project. I initially wanted it to be like everyone designs, same e-commerce application, right? What I mean the same idea, okay? But the general thing is you just need to understand that you need to design an e-commerce application, right? So whatever you choose for it to be, if you want to design if you decide to niche it down and say you want to work on an e-commerce mobile application for a fashion brand, or a shoe brand or a makeup brand or maybe grocery or anything, right? But as long as it's an e-commerce application that you're designing, right, it works. Okay. So this is more like a brief, right, for that. And yeah, I just had to, talk about the different features that we actually need to have. You need to have your authentication, which is the sign up and sign in, the product catalog. You need to have the product details, the shopping carts, and the checkouts, right? Which you also have contain the payment and stuff like that. So that's basically the flow we'll be working on. That's our goal for this particular project. So actually, because we want to solve the checkout problems that users face when shopping on e-commerce platforms, right? So that's what we want to solve, and that's basically the target of our application. Okay, and yeah, so that's that. And I believe we also worked on a user flow initially. So I'll also share that in the Google Classroom so that we can actually use that to work on our project. All right. With that being said, now one thing I also want you to have in mind. Okay, great. Thank you very much, Precious, Valentina, and Glory. You guys are welcome. All right. Okay, something else I also want you to have in mind while working on your project is that you can actually, get inspiration from other products. Like I said, I think I don't know if it's our first class or second class. You can get inspiration from products within the um, Figma community, or okay, I'll just quickly show us how that is done again, right? Because I really want us to, get this project done. And if you actually have any issues, any questions, anything that you need assistance with, please, you can reach out to me, or you can comment in the Google Classroom, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can reach out to me from the community, right? I would be really happy to help because my goal is just to see us learn and grow, right? Okay. So there are platforms like Mobbing, right? You can get inspiration from other digital products, right? Okay, let me see. I'm going to share my screen and show us. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and show us. Focus through Mobbing. Share. Okay, so this is Mobbing, right? So here you can actually get inspiration on, different types of products, right? You can see them here. You can see the different categories available, right? You can use these tabs here to actually switch between product categories. So if you're designing something around crypto, you can see. Oops, I need to log in. All right. But however, right, you can get inspiration from existing like real life products, right? From here, you can see screenshots of these products, right? You can see screenshots of these products, and you know, get inspiration from there to actually work on your project, right? That's one. You can also conduct a competitive analysis, like checking out your competitors, see how well they are doing, what are they doing right that you can actually implement in your own work, right? What are they doing right that you can implement in your own work and actually use that to actually work on your project? But please, if you have any question, you can simply drop it here. That's the purpose of this. We have 30 minutes or less to actually spend on this call. So if you have any question, just drop it in the comments so that I can respond to it on this call, so that others can that have same question wouldn't keep repeating the same question over and over again. Okay, so I think that's that. What else do I want to share with us? Okay, like I said earlier, I already have the user flow we created, and I don't think most of us have the link, so I'll just drop it somewhere everyone can access it, and you can use that to actually work on your project. You're going to be grouped into five. Sorry, you're going to be grouped into groups of 10 to 12 people, right? So that's that. I don't think there's any other thing I want to share. So, but please, I'm still waiting for your questions. The next couple of minutes, if you don't have any questions, I think we'll call it a day. Anything you find confusing in the classes we've had so far? All right. Since there are no questions, so for submitting assignments, yeah, I you can now submit. If you've not submitted before, you can submit your previous assignments so that I would actually grade everyone at the same time. So just submit your assignments if you have not, and you can, once I'm done grouping everybody, right, I'm going to share that information with us, and you can find your groups and your team members, and start working on your project. We actually have 1 week to actually complete this project. So I think that's all basically. That's all. Any questions, please? So many people reached out to me with similar questions, and responding to the same question over and over. I think I've answered some of them on this call as well. All right. Okay, since there are no questions, right? I think we'll just call it a day. All right, peace, Jacobs, Glory, Precious, Valentina. Thank you guys for joining the call. Do you guys understand everything they're supposed to do for the project? Because it's really important that you have a project, you complete this project, and you can have it on your portfolio. It will actually help you, show your work with potential employers, and yeah, it's really important that you actually get it done. So, do you guys have any questions? Okay, please, Esther, go ahead. That's why we're here. Okay, which the previous assignment that I shared with us in the Google Classroom, right? You have to submit it on Google Classroom. So you can submit it now. I extended the due date, so you can submit it now on the Google Classroom. And for the project, right? I believe you should also submit it from there, possibly. But before the project is done, I'm going to let you know how you would submit your assignment, right? Basically just your link to your Figma, file, right? And basically that's it, or your Behance. Okay, there is no links to groups, right? There is no links to groups. um you okay, this is how it's going to work. Yeah, I'm actually going to group everybody, because right there on the Google Classroom I could actually see all your names, right? So I'm just going to group all of you, and I'm going to share that. So, but basically, I think that would be it will be difficult for you all to find your group members. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's basically how it's going to, because that's how I planned it initially. So I'm just going to group all of you and share it. Then you could possibly, find out who is in your group, right? And you guys create your group chat wherever you want it to be, whether be it on WhatsApp or anywhere, and work on your projects how you want to work on it, at least from tomorrow. No, you're okay. How many columns is meant to be used for mobile application? I think you should watch the video. I mean, when you say how many columns, I'm guessing you're talking about grids, layout grids. So basically, yeah, you can use somewhere around 4 or 2, but the number of columns is not just about. Give me a second. Okay, sorry. So the number of columns here, yeah, I was talking about number of columns. So the number of columns, like I said, you could use somewhere around 2 or 4, right? But that's not the only thing. You also need to have your gutters set correctly and your margins set correctly. So I think you should rewatch the video, but so that you can get the right grid system to actually use, or grid style rather, to actually use for your mobile design. So E, are we to submit the wireframe to? Okay, So yes, right. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. Here's how it works, right? You have to submit everything because basically you're doing everything in one file, right? You have to create different. Okay, let me just use an example to show something, right? So, but basically you have to create um the low fidelity because that's how you get to the high fidelity. You're going to create a low fidelity, you're going to create a high fidelity, and then you have your case study. So I'm going to use one of my case studies I created in the past to actually show us an example of a case study, and I will share it with us also within our Google Classroom so that you can use that to as a guideline to actually create your own case study, which you're going to have on your portfolio too, right? So you have to create because the wireframe is actually it's actually one of part of the things you will have on your case study. So I'll just go ahead and show us that. Just give me a few minutes or a few seconds. Let me just find one within my okay, comment. I'm sorry, I think I should have loaded this up before actually starting this call. But thank you, Esther, for bringing my attention to that. Okay, so I think I found just have to go find it on Behance, right? So I could also show us where we are going to be sharing um where we are going what we're going to be using to create our portfolio at least for now, right? Mm. Okay, so this is basically the first project, or will I say the second project I did some years back, right? And I think yeah, I think I could use this. Basically, one of the first, or you can call it second project I did, right? So basically, this is what your case study is going to look like, and this is the link you're going to share with me on when I create the assignments on the Google Classroom, right? When I create this project as an assignment, you're going to submit a link to this place, right? To your Behance project that you've created, because the end goal is for you to or should I basically? I think we can just start with the Figma case study, right? Just send me the link to the Figma case study so that I can review it before it actually goes live to your Behance, right? So, but this is Behance, and this is what a case study looks like. It's basically you telling a story about a product and how you took the product from start to finish, right? So this is the um, you have the project overview. You talk about the products, the project duration. Then you talk about the problem, the goal. Then you talk about your role and responsibilities. This is the design thinking process which we went through to actually design this product, right? The product we learned about this, right? So we have the second thing, which is the user, understanding the user, right? Which is the empathize stage, right? Understanding the user, and we actually did all this. So all these things are things you will need to prepare, right? To actually have a complete case study based on our learnings, right? Um, User research, your, the pain points you identified, and the user persona you created, the user journey map, right, that you created for the product, right? Then you have your paper wireframes. Remember, I asked us to make sketches, right? So that sketch you made, I think on the call, I asked us to, we did a crazy eight and we made some sketches. So the sketches you made or the ones you're going to make, right? Okay, let me say the ones you're going to make while working on your product or your project, you're going to also have them as part of the things that would go into your case study, right? Then you have digital wireframes. I think Esther asked me if you're going to have your wireframes. Yes, wireframes are important. Make sure you keep them because you're also going to include them as part of the things, as part of your case study, right? So you're going to talk about the features, right? What features and why did you actually include those features, right? These are some features that you would have. This is about your digital wireframe, right? You now have the low fidelity prototype. We also talked about prototypes yesterday, right? So these are the knobs that link to different pages. If you want, we also talked about the different interactions and things that to look out for on your when prototyping, right? So if you missed that class, you should go and watch the video so you can understand what this is about. So this is your low fidelity prototype. So your usability study findings, and you have the high fidelity design, right? So this is the high fidelity design. We, you know, you have to talk about how it looks before your usability study and after the usability study, right? You have to talk about the mock-ups, the splash. Yeah, you now show display other screens that you have within the application, right? Just display screens you have within the application. Okay, these are the screens, and you now show your high fidelity prototype. You can click here to view the high fidelity prototype. I added the link to the high fidelity prototype, right? And also some people, right, you can actually record a video and add it here, right? So these are my accessibility considerations. These are important things like having this type of case study, right? This detailed, like everything is included within your case study. It will make your case study to actually stand out instead of just posting UI, maybe your high fidelity within Behance, right? And Behance is somewhere that people can actually discover your project. You can see that this project has 221 likes, 2.3K views. These are like people that have seen this particular project, and 17 comments, right? And it was published in March 2022, right? So these are like this will actually help and help you actually land your first internship or job, right? Or basically internship as a UI UX designer, right? So, and I am willing to help in any way to make sure that you actually at least have your first project out there and make sure that it looks good. Okay, so I think I've shown us this. So I'm going to share us this, right? The Figma file so that you can actually use that to, or any other of my case study, right? But this is the one that I could actually find right now. So, or to actually create your own case study, right? But however, what you're submitting to us or to me is the link to the Figma file that you use to create this everything, right? That you use to work on your project. So that I'm going to review, right? After reviewing it, gives you feedback, you make your corrections, and then you can now have it published as a case study on Behance. So if you want to publish, basically share your work project, and you basically upload the downloaded Figma, files, right? Let's say I want to publish something. Basically, I'm here now, right? So maybe it's an image I want to add. I can easily click here or here, right? I just click here. Most times I just work on the case studies, and even if there's any special design I want to make, I just do it on Figma and then group everything together and upload it as one image, and it just shows here, right? But basically, that's how to do it. It's as simple as that. After doing this, you just hit, I think there's a publish button here or something. Can hit this continue button, it will become active. You want to just click on it, you go and add your thumbnail, and you are good to go. You're done. You've published it, right? So it's not difficult. Well, where the work is actually getting your designs done in Figma. So yeah. Yes, you need to add a user flow, not necessarily a sitemap though, but you need a user flow for your portfolio, for your case study that you would have added to your Behance portfolio, right? So basically I've answered this question from Esther because I've shown you everything that you need to have, right? And I believe all the things there that we just went through on the case study, we've actually learned all of them here on this call, right? Sorry, during the course of this program. So I think that's that for that. So Esther, I hope your questions have been answered. Okay. So there are two things I'm going to share with you all. That is the case study and the user flow that we created, so that you can actually basically what you have to do is screen grab it and or download it. I think there's a way to download it and just have it added to your case study, and it will also guide you in your design, so you know the screens that we are looking out to have, and also the brief also. Yeah, I think that also provides more information. So that's it. Any other question before we go? It's almost 8:30. We just want to spend 30 minutes on this call today. Any other question? Okay, Valentine, you're welcome. Valentina, sorry. Okay, we have 3 minutes more. Okay. Any opportunity for unpaid internships? Yeah, there are both paid and unpaid internships. Like they are everywhere, right? So basically, I don't know how many times I've said basically, but there are opportunities for unpaid and paid internships, right? It depends on what you want to do. But if you go to LinkedIn, you should probably find both paid and unpaid. So if you're interested in doing unpaid internships, which I'm not a huge fan of, unless you just want to volunteer for a good cause, which is fine, you can actually do that, right? So, but yeah, there are opportunities out there for unpaid internships. Unpaid. So, however, if we find any, we could actually share them in the community for for you to participate in. Okay. Yeah. So basically on Twitter, and which is now X, I keep calling it Twitter, and LinkedIn. Those are my two go-to places for opportunities, because yeah, that's where I find most of them. I see most of them. Any other questions? We have 1 minute left, and we'll call it a day. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you for joining the call. So I look forward to the amazing work you guys are going to submit. I can't wait. Like I can't wait. But please don't forget, if you have any questions, if you have any issues, if you need help, please just reach out to me. Right. Well, what advice would I give to you as a beginner? Like, you see, there's this thing that happens to beginners, imposter syndrome. It actually happened to me a lot. I experienced it a whole lot, right? Like I felt like I wasn't good enough. So please don't even tell yourself that at all. Don't tell yourself that you're not good enough, right? That you're not good yet. Like people's work are better than yours. Mm-mm. You are growing, right? You're growing and you're going to keep growing. So the advice I would give to you is, don't stop yourself from sharing your work because you feel like you're not a professional yet, right? Everybody is learning. Everybody, even the people you see and call them professionals, they are still learning, right? And everybody will continue to learn. So Don't see yourself as you are not good enough yet. Your work is not worthy to be seen by people, to put it that way, right? So just don't think about that. Self confidence. Speak confidently about your work, right? Speak confidently about your work and what you do, right? And the only way you can be able to do that is if you actually have knowledge. So seek knowledge, have enough knowledge. I wouldn't say enough though, but just seek knowledge, have information, right? So that you can be able to speak confidently about your work, but speak confidently about your work, right? Third is consistency in your design, right? So design as often as possible because practice makes perfect, they say. You hear that, and it's not a joke. So practice makes perfect. The more you design, the better you learn, right? And the more you keep designing, you can keep encountering different, challenges, and the more you solve them, right, the better you become at anything you do, not only UI UX design, right? So just keep on, learning, improving, and share your work. Like I said, share your work. If you design anything, even if it's one screen that you have designed, share it. Even if it's what do you call it? In fact, anything you design, just share it. If you design an icon, share it on any social media platform you like. For me, I prefer LinkedIn and you know a bit of Twitter though and YouTube, right? So any social media platform you like, which my favorite is LinkedIn, right? So just share your work there. Share your work anywhere you find yourself. Even if it's an icon, like I said, just share it and try to network and interact with people. Join communities. If you find communities that you can join and network with people. The first gig I ever had, right? The first gig I had was from someone I met within a community, and I shared my work there. Right? I was like, I designed this. You guys check it out on Behance. Something, something, something like that. That was some years back. And later on, not immediately after I shared my work, that the person reached out to me. Sometime later, the person reached out to me and like, I have a project. Are you available to work on it? And I'm like, yeah, please bring it in, bring it on. And that was how that happened, right? So you never can tell who is watching, even on your socials, even on your anywhere you are, right? In your communities, when you design, just share it. You never can tell who is watching. One day, someone might have a project and they'll be like, Esther. It's true. Esther is a designer. Let me reach out to her and see if she's available, and they will just call you for a project, right? So just consistently share your work. Don't tell yourself, don't talk down on yourself. Don't say you're not good enough, right? Build confidence, seek knowledge, right? So if you can be able to do these things, I believe you'll be able to excel, right? Not only in design, in whatever you are doing at all, right? So that's basically my advice for you as a beginner. Consistently learn and practice what you're learning. So basically that's it. So I think we are 4 minutes past our you know time for ending the call. So all right, I think that's it. So I look forward to you seeing what you guys are going to do with your projects, and have a good night rest. Bye.